the divers I had on here when we went to Catalina totally destroyed this cup holder, so I had to replace it too. Okay, you're all going to shout at me for this, but this top piece here is the door cover. And when we were underway and hitting pretty hard seas, this thing was creaking quite a bit. Creak, creak, creak. So I figured that the screws here were loose. There's 3 screws up here, and then there's 3 screws down below. So I took this whole thing off. It just pops right off once you take the screws out. But the screws, of course, 3 of them came out easily. 3 of them broke off. So it was time to get replaced. Now there's no sealant in here. You know, it's just the screws that hold this thing on. And so I pulled it off. Of course, it had a bunch of dust bunnies below. The rail, the bottom rail for the door had a broken screw in it. So I replaced it and then drilled out the screws that had broken off, and then just replaced them all with new screws and put it back in. I should have recorded the whole thing, but I was kind of lazy, and I was kind of reeling from the mechanic that we had down here today. So I had a mechanic down. He had done an oil analysis on each engine and each transmission. And of the 4 analysis, 3 of them were great, no problems. One of them was not great, and that was the oil from the port engine. It showed a high potassium level, which was a mixture of seawater and antifreeze. So he thought that one of the riser gaskets was leaking, and has instructed me to go ahead and replace the riser gaskets and block off plates, which I had done in October of 2018. Which is no big deal. My nephew Matt can help me out with that, and I've already asked him, and he will help me out. And we will show that on the channel here. The other thing that he pointed out, which was a little bit more expensive, was that the oil coolers really should get replaced. So this is the U-shaped coolers that does the oil on one side and transmission fluid on the other. And he suggested that they're both really old and they both need to get replaced. So we will be showing that here in an upcoming episode. And also he suggested R&Ring the heat exchangers, painting them, putting new cap gaskets on the ends, which I have cap gaskets for those, and cleaning that up and resoldering the ends if they need it, or if it looks like they need it. So I can do all that with the help of my nephew Matt. So that's coming up as well. Well, hopefully we'll do that all in one day. So I've ordered the new coolers and the riser gaskets, and I already have the end cap gaskets for the heat exchangers. These are the gaskets and block-off plates for the port engine to address the possibly leaking gasket. I still don't get that myself. I don't understand how a leaking riser gasket that's allowing seawater and antifreeze into the exhaust make its way into the oil. But somehow it is. And of course, you know, these go in, gasket on the exhaust manifold, and then your block off plate, and then another gasket, and then the riser. And I know the mechanic guy knows best, so that's what we're going with. And these guys are the oil coolers. Got these from MarineEngineParts.com. There we go. Nice. They are really heavy. And they came with a zinc too. I didn't expect that. I expected that I'd have to buy zincs for them. But that's kind of nice. Nice little touch here. So I believe this is transmission on this side and oil on this side. Anyways, we'll find out when we get down to the boat. Stay tuned. That's coming up.